Well, take a look at the background because we are no longer in our RV.
In this video, we are going to be going over our finishing up things so that we can get into the house, which include backfilling, decks, our walkway, driveway, and more.
That's right. This video is going to be the one video that most everyone has probably been waiting for. It is basically the move-in video. But first, like you said, we've got a lot of work to do, or rather, show you guys.
Let's go.
Yesterday was the day the single wide was moved off of our property. So what I want to do today, with what little bit of daylight I got left, even though it's only 4:30, fall, right? Anyway, what I want to do this afternoon or evening is to begin some cleanup work here where the single wide was. I want to get the plastic vapor barrier up and put into our dumpster that's over there over my shoulder. Which, speaking of, throughout this whole project of the house build, we've always had a dumpster in our property. That's there because it's helped keep things a lot cleaner. So one of my tips for you, if you're doing a project like this, is to rent a dumpster like we've done. Even though it's going to be on your own dime, it makes things cleaner overall. The contractors and people who do the work will happily put their trash in the dumpster, which keeps your property cleaner. Well, the grader crew just finished. They did all the waterproofing and the backfilling today, and it looks fantastic. There's still more work for us to do back where the old single wide was, but they've got the entire perimeter of the home, most importantly, the front and then the driveway side, because those were the ones that were lower in. They've got it sculpted perfect for positive drainage, nice slope, and looks really good. What we have got to do now, though, is the number one most critical thing to do, which our block guy told us we better do this as soon as it's backfilled, and that's cover all this up with straw, hay, or a grass mat to prevent the mud splatter and the staining on our block foundation wall. So, let's get the tractor, let's go out to our hay field and rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, grab a big old roll of hay, start spreading it out.
Up next are the decks. We didn't want to finance big decks, large porches, or that type thing. So we only wanted to do a small deck, pretty much the minimum requirements so that we could get into our house. Another reason we didn't want to get the big decks is that would make it longer that we would have to stay in the camper, and we were ready to get into our house that we could see right in front of us. So up pulls a couple of trucks and a bunch of guys come out, and I was thinking this is going to take a while, but with all those guys, they got it knocked out in a couple of hours. It was really nice to see how well together they worked and how quickly they got the decks made. The front deck is about a 5x5 with the steps coming down off the front of them. And the back deck is an 8x5 with the steps coming off the front of them as well.
I gotta say, Angela's idea for having the steps on the decks to go straight out from the home looks very, very nice. I probably had some tunnel vision thinking straight from the vehicle, straight to the house. Why not just make it easy? But you did very good.
Thanks.
You guys are about to see how well she did, because the next stage of this was to give ourselves something to walk on and avoid the mud. Here on the front of our home, we have a very nice deck and pretty steps that lead straight out of the front door of our home and into the mud. It is December here in Tennessee, and with that and our new construction, it means we are home of Mudtown, USA. The name of the game today is to try and fix that. What we want to try and do is put down a walkway from our front steps to the driveway area, come up with some solution using some materials we have. Obviously, also got to buy other materials, but see if we can come up with something that is nice, fairly stable, but not completely permanent, because this is a brand new blank slate and we don't know what we want to do long term, but we got to have something today.
So we have all of our supplies together. We have some leftover sand from the guy that did the block work. He said he was going to toss it, so we said we would keep it. We also have some ag fabric that has been left over that we are going to use first to put down, level some spots with some sand, and then add what we want to on top of that.
So this is the rough pathway that we're going to try and take, our walking path, straight out from the home a little bit. Once we get past the low spot, which was sculpted for proper drainage and everything, then we're going to kind of turn to the left, and I'll bring it pretty much towards you guys. At least that's our rough thought. First thing for us to do is get our ag fabric out and roughly give ourselves, well, I guess, an ag fabric walkway as step one. This is like the lowest spot. This is where everything sculpts. So I don't want to walk here. But if we want to take it here in 45, we could do that. Okay, sit it down there and see what you think. All right, so that first bag of sand is mostly empty. I don't think I have enough on there, but I'm gonna use the landscape rake and smooth it out and at least see what else we gotta do. So let's do that. All right, it's definitely thin up here, but let's see what we can get down here. All right, so the rake is kind of doing some stuff there. And now let's tamp it down, because after I rake it and I walk on it, we're making depressions. So start tamping. All right, see if that fits better in there. All right, I have been told by pretty much everyone out here that this is good enough. I have a tendency to try and make everything as close to perfection as possible, but this is not the forever walkway. And so I've been reminded of that it's time to stop and move on to the next step. Real quick before we do that, I do want to mention this is mason sand, and this is absolutely not appropriate for a patio paver block base. You want to get paver base. The reason we're using this is because it was something we already had on hand. It was free, and we just wanted to get this done because we are like that close to moving into the house, and we don't want to bring mud in the new house. So I wanted to say that little disclaimer, I guess, just so you know that I know this is not the right stuff. That being said, let's get Angela to show you guys what paver stepping stones we picked out, because they are really cool. We've never seen stuff like this before, and we think you're going to enjoy them.
We went to Lowe's looking for some paver stones that would do a walkway to the front door, and we found these that are a little bit different. They are put together like tiles for a bathroom or something like that, like on a grid, and you lay them down and then you can put sand in between them to fill it in and make it look like a cobblestone. We really like this. It looked like it was something cool and different. It's not something that you have to worry about it cracking in half as you would with the big paver stones, and it looks really cool, and we really like the paver stone look. So this is what they look like. They are about 12 by 24. They're smooth on the top, makes it good for even walking barefoot on them, and they're held together like a plastic grid. This is what the other side is.
So we're going to start right here at the deck steps, because this is probably the most important area that we make sure we end at a nice termination point. And we're just going to try these for now 2 wide. So right in the center point, we'll put a block to the left, a block to the right, and see how that goes, because we don't have enough to do like as wide as the sand, and we really don't need a walkway that wide either, unless we want to do it this way. I don't know, let's try it left to right first. All right, Angela's concerned that this is too skinny, so what we're going to do is try and move these to where it's double wide. So instead of 1 in the middle, we're going to try doing 2 and see how we like that. I mean, it definitely looks a lot better. I just don't know if we have enough blocks. We don't really have a choice. It's either going to be double wide or single.
Well, unless we do the 2 going that way.
Oh, the triple?
Straight sides.
Okay, let's try triple then.
Well, look at that. It looks beautiful. We are about 12 short, so I'll have to go to the store and get those. But I think overall this looks the best of all the different variations that we tried to do. It's about 3 feet wide, and the benefit of this style is that it has a nice straight edge on the sides. So off we go to the store to get more blocks and the sand to fill it in.
All right, guys, check this out. Talk about doing it backwards, right? So the sand we got to fill in between the blocks is actually leveling sand. It's what you put down as the base. But we're doing it backwards. Why did we get this? Because this was cheaper than the official finished sand, and we're hoping that this will hold everything together. Ta-da! Good enough, right? Well, I think I'm good enough with this for now, given this is one of the most backwards projects I think we've done, and not a good indication of how we normally do things if you just found us on this one video. Normally we follow the rules. This one, however, was about saving money and reusing things we already had. That being said, it looks fantastic. I am happy with this. I really like the cobblestone walkway, stepway blocks we got, and I think Angel's gonna love it. That being said, she's not been out here. She's been inside the workshop packing up orders for our business. So let's go get her and see what she thinks.
I think it looks great. I've always kind of wanted a cobblestone pathway, walkway to my house. I always thought that would be amazing. And look, here it is. We're hoping that any rain that comes will help to kind of compact everything down a little bit, because it still is a little fluffed up, but that'll help settle everything and make it more concrete.
With that beautiful walkway done, we then needed a driveway, because throughout the construction process, our driveway just disappeared and basically became a mud path on the ground, or at least a path of mud that you didn't sink in as much, because this time of year, you don't get off the rocks. What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another video and another day here on the grand adventure of trying our best to get out of the RV and move into our new house. Well, along the journey of construction and winter in East Tennessee, we have done very well to just about delete our entire gravel driveway. The new house was put in a portion of what we used to have as a turnaround, so that obviously is gone. But over the trips of construction crews and trucks and traffic, rain and mud, what we did have is fast leaving as well. But no fear, today is a fun day because today is gravel day. The only thing that makes it not fun is the cost, but whatever. You gotta have a place to walk, and there's no point in getting a new house if you're only gonna track mud in it. let's roll that footage and let you guys see the current situation. So we have a pretty straight driveway, really flat terrain if you're not familiar with our terrain here. And basically everywhere you're seeing a dark brown strip is where our driveway used to be, and it's where we kind of want it to be. We are not going to be doing a turnaround driveway like we previously had because there's just not that much space. And honestly, we didn't use the turnaround that much as far as turnaround functions, but just more as like a looped area for parking. What we want to do with the new home is we will be driving around kind of as a left hook, and we're going to be parking behind the house. The way our house is built or laid out, this end of the home is great because there's no windows, which means if in the future we want to put a carport here or do some kind of a structure, we're not going to be blocking any rooms with windows. This also makes a perfect spot to park 2 vehicles and have easy access to our back door. Curving around the driveway, coming up to this part of the home is exactly where we want to build a parking pad for our vehicles. There's no windows on this side of the home up until the kitchen and the back steps. So this whole area from the left to the kitchen all the way to the end of the house is perfect for making a parking pad. All right, guys, as you can see, we have our first load of gravel dropped off. And I told the guy just to drop a pile because what we're going to do first, or rather what I will do while he's bringing more loads, is to use that plus this roll of geotech fabric to build us a parking pad. At least I hope so. Let's give it a shot. So this geotech fabric or landscape fabric is about 8 feet wide. So it's folded over a little bit on itself here. So what we're going to do is pull it out as wide as we want the parking pad, which I may have set you too far that way, didn't I? Wherever you want yours to end, you can pick it.
Here, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and let it down. And so now I'll use my knife here and go ahead and cut it to length. And then we will unfold it. And pull it up on the block about 6 inches or so, or 8 inches. Come on, pull it tight. There, we're gonna floss it. There we go. Perfect. Now kind of do what I'm doing. All right, I brought over a scoop of gravel. Hang on, I gotta do some American Gladiator skills. Parkour. I just brought over a scoop of gravel with the tractor bucket, and what we're going to do first is hand shovel right up next to the house, helping to hold this fabric in place so that later as I do scoop after scoop with the tractor, we're not pulling it off the house. Because that would pretty much negate the really big point we're doing this, which is to keep grass and weeds off right here at the house. All right, guys, here's our plan. We've got it pinned at the front of the house. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna bring over tractor scoops of gravel at a time and dump them starting at the house and work our way backwards. So as I bring one over, we'll dump it, maybe spread a little bit, but otherwise starting at the house, coming back, and then unrolling the plastic as we go. I don't wanna drive on top of this plastic fabric at all because the tractor will just push it straight into the mud and risk pulling it off of the house. with the driveway done, the walkways done, the decks, the backfilling, and electrical, guess what time it is?
Moving time.
That's right. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what you want to see, we don't have a ton of footage of this because we were just trying to move in. What we'll do is show you what clips we did shoot, but know that in the future, in another video, we will show you some more stuff around the house, but not right now. We're still box city in here.
So come and enjoy the process as we start moving things into the house.
All right, so this is pretty much the gist of how things are going. We're moving the tractor for the majority of the stuff, going from storage building to house, storage building to house, back and forth as quick as possible. But we're not putting things in the room just yet. We're staging them inside. Let me show you what that looks like just right now too. Well, here's a look inside. We're just staging things inside the door, pretty much dining room, family room area, at least as far as the back and forth trips. What we're gonna do now though is take a little bit of a break and see if we can't sort these boxes at least into the rooms where they're going to be going. Go, where they end up need to be put. Well, here it is a couple of hours later, and as you'll notice over my shoulder, the house has some more stuff in it. We have our couch, recliner, table, chairs, furniture, bookshelves, all the large stuff out of our stow box, which is a portable storage unit. That one's emptied, and we've been working on getting stuff out of our storage building. By the way, we need 9-volt batteries. That's driving us crazy. Apparently smoke detectors don't have batteries. They're hardwired, but they must not have their batteries. Either way, this is what the situation is here in the main living area. What I'm about to do is start going through some boxes. I need to find the cleaning supplies first, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to clean before we pack it up and put it up in the kitchen. Meanwhile, in the boys' room, Isaac is just going to town, going crazy. He's unpacked all of his Nerf guns and everything he's been missing for the past 2 months living in that RV. It's out in his bedroom and he's having a blast, while Angela and Elijah are in his room working on putting his bed frame together. Thankfully, we had these left over from, gosh, probably a year or two ago at this point. They used to have them for our boys. We built the bunk beds. Angela wanted to keep them, and I'm glad she did now, because now they have their own beds ready to go. All right, so that's what they're all into. Now let's go back in here in the main area and see if I can tackle this mess a little bit. I think what I'll start with, I don't know what I'll start with, so here we go, regardless, right? But hey, it's fun. Here in our family room, we also have a rug. This one is a lot larger. I think this is somewhere around an 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10, somewhere around there. This is the biggest one they had in the store. And funny story, this is also the one at the bottom of the pile. Elijah and I dug through probably 50 rugs, moving them piece by piece to get to this one. Because the way the store is set up, it's like a giant table and you got rugs stacked really high, and good luck digging. But hey, we got a really good deal again on a really nice rug. But let's unwrap it, unroll it, and see what it looks like. Because this one, we're not exactly sure about. All right, I don't know. Maybe somewhere about here. It's not as big in the room as it was in the store.
We thought that the rug was going to be too dark because it is a darker, medium dark gray, but our furniture is going to be dark gray as well. So we didn't know if it would just overwhelm the room and be too dark because we like things light. But with all the recessed lighting and the light colored floors, I think it'll be all right, and it actually looks really good.
Second, please. And just like that, in one single video for you guys, multiple weeks worth of our life has been condensed.
It has.
Way to go. This is how it happens. At this point, it's been a couple of days since we've been living in the new house, and, well, you tell them how it feels.
It feels amazing, and it still feels completely huge compared to what we've been living in, the camper and the single wide that we don't know what to do with all the space.
This doesn't mean that the video's in for us. Just because the house is built and we're in doesn't mean we'll disappear. We've already got projects lined up. I think the next video you guys will see is relating to our laundry room, doing a pretty cool DIY project in there. And then of course, I've got a video probably about doing my new office space. We've got a whole kitchen to organize, boys' bedrooms, a ton of stuff.
So if you like this stuff, stick around. We'll have more of it coming. And otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.